In a significant diplomatic gesture, Saudi Arabia has conferred the Order of King Abdulaziz upon the Pakistan Army Chief. The awards ceremony, held at the Royal Palace in Riyadh, recognized the general's pivotal role in strengthening bilateral defense ties and his contributions to regional counterterrorism efforts. Saudi officials termed the relationship with Pakistan as essential for the security architecture of the Middle East, signaling a renewed commitment to the strategic partnership between Riyadh and Islamabad. A major milestone for Pakistan's economic overhaul, the privatization of Pakistan International Airlines, PIA, has been officially finalized. The government has transferred management control to a private consortium after a bidding process that concluded earlier this week. Economic analysts describe this as the most significant structural reform in decades, aimed at stemming the multi-billion rupee monthly losses of the national carrier. The new ownership has pledged to modernize the fleet and restore direct flights to Europe within the next 6 months. Dhaka is looking west for border security solutions. The Bangladesh border guard has opened formal discussions to acquire Pakistani-made surveillance drones, specifically the Barak and Sharpar series. This interest comes as Bangladesh seeks cost-effective, high-altitude monitoring systems to secure its porous borders. If signed, this deal would mark a rare instance of defense trade between the two nations, signaling a potential thaw in diplomatic relations and a diversification of Bangladesh's military hardware. In the Rajasthan desert, the joint military exercise Haramau Shakti between the Indian and Malaysian armies has concluded. The 2-week drill focused on counterinsurgency operations in semi-urban terrain. Defense officials stated the exercise enhanced interoperability and shared tactical drills. The conclusion of these war games highlights India's Act East policy, as New Delhi seeks to deepen security partnerships with key Southeast Asian nations to balance regional influence. From Gwadar to Washington, this is Pak Geo Defense Update, Pakistan's voice in the world of defense and geopolitics. Please subscribe. We move to a stark warning from Washington. The Pentagon has released a classified assessment stating that China's military expansion is happening at a historic pace, one that has now made key U.S. assets vulnerable. The report details Beijing's rapid accumulation of nuclear warheads, the expansion of its naval fleet to over 370 ships, and advancements in hypersonic missile technology that can evade current U.S. defenses. A senior defense official briefed Congress, noting that the window of U.S. military superiority in the Indo-Pacific is closing faster than anticipated. The report calls for an immediate acceleration of the U.S. industrial base to counter what it terms the pacing threat of the century. From geopolitics to the cosmos, Russia has announced an ambitious plan to construct a nuclear power plant on the Moon within the next decade. The Russian space agency, Roscosmos, confirmed that the project is being developed in collaboration with China for the proposed International Lunar Research Station. The plant is intended to power lunar settlements, as solar panels are deemed insufficient for the 14-day-long lunar nights. Engineers are reportedly working on an automated deployment system that would allow the reactor to be assembled by robots without human intervention. This announcement intensifies the new space race, raising questions about the militarization of the lunar surface, and the enforcement of the Outer Space Treaty. In the Middle East, the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, claim a significant blow to Hamas's operational capabilities. An airstrike in central Gaza has reportedly killed a top Hamas financial officer responsible for managing the group's funding network. Israeli intelligence states that the target was instrumental in funneling millions of dollars for weapons procurement and tunnel construction. The strike, carried out by a precision-guided munition, is part of Israel's shifted strategy to target the financial veins of the organization rather than just its military commanders. Humanitarian groups, however, have raised concerns about the location of the strike, which occurred in a densely populated zone, leading to unconfirmed reports of civilian casualties. On the diplomatic front, Pakistan has issued a strong warning against further isolating Iran. In a statement to the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, Pakistan's envoy urged the global community to prioritize diplomacy over coercion regarding Iran's nuclear program. Islamabad warned that imposing crippling new sanctions would not only fail to curb nuclear ambitions but would disproportionately hurt Iranian civilians and destabilize the entire region. The statement reflects Pakistan's delicate balancing act, trying to maintain good ties with its neighbor Tehran while managing pressure from Western allies. The Foreign Office emphasized that a negotiated settlement is the only path to preventing a nuclear arms race in the Middle East. Islamabad is set for a historic day tomorrow, December 26, as UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan arrives on his first official state visit to Pakistan. Met with grand ceremonial honors, the President will lead a high-level delegation to meet with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and President Asif Ali Zardari. The primary focus: a massive economic roadmap. Both nations are set to fast-track multi-billion-dollar investments in Pakistan's energy, IT, and aviation sectors. Beyond economics, the talks will address critical regional stability and maritime security concerns, reinforcing a decades-long ironclad brotherhood. With a local holiday declared in the capital to mark the occasion, this visit signals a new chapter in the UAE-Pakistan strategic partnership. In North Africa, Morocco is deepening its defense reliance on Pakistan. A high-level Moroccan military delegation is currently in Pakistan to finalize agreements on intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, ISR, cooperation. Rabat is specifically interested in Pakistan's experience with asymmetric warfare and drone operations to monitor the Western Sahara region. Furthermore, the two nations have agreed to expand military education exchanges, with Moroccan officers joining Pakistan's Command and Staff College. This partnership is seen as part of Morocco's broader strategy to modernize its military capabilities by looking beyond its traditional Western suppliers, leveraging Pakistan's battle-hardened expertise in counterinsurgency and peacekeeping. Finally, we address the political firestorm in Islamabad. The defense minister has vigorously defended the recent cross-border airstrikes into Afghanistan. Speaking on the floor of the National Assembly, the minister stated that the strikes targeted sanctuaries of terrorists who were responsible for attacks on Pakistani soil. He rejected criticism from opposition parties who argued the move violates sovereignty and risks war. "We will not be held hostage by borders when our citizens are being killed," the minister declared, revealing that intelligence on the targets was irrefutable. The speech highlighted a growing political split, with the government pushing a hardline security policy while the opposition warns of a Vietnam-style quagmire on the western border. That's enough for today. Share your thoughts in comments section, and please answer today's question.